Hello, my name is Amy Apgar, and this is my jigsaw activity, and I did journals. So question 1 says, how would you describe this data collection technique, and what processes and procedures are unique? Student journals provide information similar to homework to the teacher, in that teachers can gain a sense of students' daily thoughts and perceptions and experiences. Journals would be a naturally occurring in the school setting. It allows teachers to not only see what the students are thinking, but it also allows them to get a deeper understanding. It's a narrative that students can write, but it also states that teachers can also have journals to reflect on what they taught, what worked, what didn't work, what needs to change for the following year. Journals can be done by one person, or they can be done by an entire class, such as like a class book that can start as an empty notebook and be passed around to the whole class to get their perception on an activity that was completed, or a lesson that was done, or maybe a unit. And I know this picture is small, but I snipped it from the article that we read. Is it a qualitative or quantitative technique, and what types of questions would this technique best answer? So it is a qualitative, there on the picture. And its qualitative data are narratives, that is, that the data themselves are the words. And what types of questions would this technique best answer? So using open-ended questions allows for best open communication versus saying, what did you learn in this lesson? And students to say fractions, leaving it a little more, tell me about the fractions lesson might be more beneficial. And using a scale to help gain knowledge from your students. Or was it more likely, less likely, neutral on a 5-point scale versus 3. What are some strengths from this data collection, and what are some of their weaknesses? Clarification is an instant. So if a teacher passes out the journals and the last 5 minutes and gathers them up at the end of the class, you're not really able to get that instant clarification from students. You might have to, jot a note back to them and get it the next day. Versus if they were to raise their hand, ask you the question, you could clarify it for them right away. Journals provide reflections for not only what is being observed, but also what students are feeling and interpreting on the material, which is super, super beneficial because we can only see the outside. So by having them use their writing, we can understand what the process is inside their minds as well. And again, I'm just touching back that there's a variety of ways to use journals. Students can do it, teachers can do it, class could do it. I also thought another way to use journals would be in like a social skills group. And maybe tell students that they write every day, and 1 day a week they have to turn it in. Not for a grade necessarily, just for clarification that it's being completed. And this way it opens lines for communication between teacher and student, but then students also have an outlet. What are my concerns? And the validicity? The reliability. So to be valid, something needs to be right. And to be reliable, it needs to be dependable. For journals, since it's so narrative and students kind of write what they feel, and it's more student driven, those types of things. I think it's more of like a personal experience. It's not necessarily measured and we can't obtain a score, but we are hoping that they earn, we're not really hoping that they earn or beat a score, but we want them to be honest and open, and this could help us gain knowledge and help them build and scaffold as we needed to. Build where we needed to, scaffold where we needed to. And there really isn't any way of students supporting their finding unless we're asking them to prove their knowledge. Thanks so much for listening. Let me know if you have any questions. Oh, I did not do a works cited page, but I used the two articles. I used the article Ollie posted, and I used our class book. I will post the work cited in our discussion post. Thanks so much.